good morning, and welcome to this webinar, Grow Money on the Go, How to Spot Legit Online Saving and Investing Platforms. This webinar is brought to you by Federal Land in partnership with Securities and Earnest Investing by Metrobank. And this special webinar is brought to you as we continue to celebrate the World Investors Week of 2021, but with us, every webinar is an Investor Protection Day. So before we begin and introduce myself, my name is Ayana po and I'll be your host for today. I am a PRC and DHSUD licensed real estate broker with a decade-long experience in residential and commercial real estate services for both local and international clients. I am currently holding the position of Site Officer for Federal Land. And joining us today, we have Mr. Andoy Beltran, who is an Assistant Vice President and Head of Business Development and Market Education of Securities. He is licensed by SEC, BSE, and Bloomberg to talk about and teach the public about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, unit investment trust funds, exchange-traded funds, and everything in between. And today, we also brought to you another special guest, Bianca Gray. Ms. Bianca has been in the digital marketing space for most of her career, having worked on product and online marketing initiatives in the telco, media, and tech spaces. She was part of the local pioneer teams of Yahoo and Google and is now head of product and marketing of the digital banking division of Metrobank. So without further ado, may I please call on Sir Andoy and Ms. Bianca? Hello, Sir Andoy, Ms. Bianca.
Yes, good afternoon, Yana. Good afternoon, Bianca. Good afternoon to our Zoom attendees and those joining us through Facebook.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here.
And I'm sure our audience is very much excited to know a lot about our webinar for today. So, Sir Andoy, can you please tell us what this World Investor Week is about?
Yes, last week was actually World Investor Protection Week. We celebrate the World Investor Protection Week by talking about, by educating the public about legitimate legitimate investments and investment scams. But sabi nga ni Ana, parang hindi natatapos dun sa World Investor Week itong efforts natin. And that's why even after that, we continue to provide you with educational webinars like this. And we thought of coming up with this, tying up with Earnest, with Metrobank, with Federal Land, because yung mga investment scams nag-evolve sila no? And during the course of this webinar, you'll see for yourself. You'll understand na hindi tumitigil ang mga investment scammers sa pag-improve ng modus operandi nila. And in order for us to avoid getting victimized, syempre maganda na alam natin na we're one step ahead. Alam natin kung ano yung mga ginagawa nila at ano yung mga dapat natin gawin for us to be able to avoid falling victim to those investment scammers.
Agree, no? Wherever there is investment talaga, there are scammers everywhere. So, Ms. Bianca, actually, diba, the Earnest investing, it's very new in the market, no? So, I hope later we will be understanding what Earnest investing is about.
Yes, I'm so excited to be able to share with you this latest product by Metrobank, which is an app that you can use to really start your journey in investing by educating yourself and learning investment basics.
All right. So with that, let's can we please call on Sir Andoy? Maybe you can. The floor is yours.
Of course. Thank you, Yana. Hold on. So there. As mentioned, no, dun sa intro natin, dun sa question na rin, yung sagot ko na rin sa tanong Yana kanina. This pandemic, no? Let's talk about this pandemic. Let's talk about our situation right now. This pandemic kind of forced not just Filipinos. This pandemic forced pretty much everyone to embrace the online lifestyle. We got into mobile banking. We opened e-wallets, even though we're not yet familiar on how it works and the mga features and mga benefits. And to a certain extent, a lot of people, a lot of Filipinos tried online investing. And sabi nga natin kanina, because money is being transacted online, nandun na lahat. No? Yung mga, walang mga hold-uppers kasi meron tayong lockdown measures, merong mga curfew, because money is now being transacted online. Scammers are also going digital. And that's precisely why FirstMetroSec, Federal Land, and of course, Earnest of Metrobank will be giving you guys this grow money on the go, how to spot legitimate online saving and investing platforms. Now, again, quickly, my name is Andoy. I'm the Business Development and Market Education Head of First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. Kami po ang stock brokerage arm nila Bianca ng Metrobank. And we happen to be the 2017, 2018, 2020, and 2021 best online broker with the best online trading platform here in the Philippines. No? Now, sabi ko nga, we keep on evolving and ang daming nangyari because of this pandemic. The pre-pandemic, my typical day, including Wednesday afternoons like this, it involves jumping from campus to campus, office to office, island to island, and sometimes even country to country, talking to Filipinos young and old about budgeting, about saving, about investing, about entrepreneurship, about leadership, about career management. But because of the pandemic, businesses, you, me, Metrobank, Federal Land, we had to adjust. We had to adjust the way we do things. We had to adjust the way we transact. We had to adjust the way we transfer money. We had to adjust the way we remit money to the Philippines. And in order for us to continue our mission to build a financially literate Philippines, to see more and more Filipinos being financially literate, sa amin, the show must go on. No? So we're taking advantage of opportunities, one speaking engagement at a time, one Facebook live session at a time, one international roadshow at a time, one guesting at a time, one webinar recording at a time. And that's also the reason why I established Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Because I want to reach out to more and more people. Kasi more than anything else, hindi na to profession for me. It's actually my passion. And again, that's why we're doing things like this. Now, it's very important that we take these things seriously. Hindi namin to ginagawa, hindi kami nag-webinar just to be famous. Hindi namin to ginagawa dahil wala kaming magawa. No? Ginagawa namin to because whether you are aware of or not, we're actually facing a serious problem, because 3 out of 4 Filipinos, according to Standard & Poor's, are financially illiterate. That's a problem. 80% of Filipinos don't know how to manage money. That's a problem. 90% of Filipinos don't have savings. That's a problem. 97%, going 98% of Filipinos aren't even investing. That's a problem. And after everything said and done, kahit gaano katagal kang nag-aral, kahit gaano katagal tayong nagtrabaho, at the end of the day, SSS tells us that 97% of Filipinos still end up retiring poor. That's a problem. And speaking of federal land, speaking of our dreams and aspirations to be able to get that dream house of our own, dream condo, dream house and lot, sad to say, there's another problem. According to the Asian Development Bank, 70% of Filipinos don't have their own dwelling. Bakit? Again, because it all boils down to Filipinos not being financially illiterate. And that's why we're doing things like this. Now, let's try to look at the Philippines in the digital space. Tingnan natin kung ano bang ginagawa natin, no? Bakit ba sinasabi na from texting capital of the world, parang tayo na ngayon yung social media capital of the world, no? To think na hindi naman ganoon kabilis yung internet speeds natin. Bakit ganoon? Anong nangyayari? End of 2020, sabi ng Philippine Statistics Authority, meron na daw 110 million Filipinos. Yan ang populasyon natin. 110 million Filipinos. Out of 110 million Filipinos, sabi ng data reportal, 138% daw ang may mobile connection compared to our population. So ibig sabihin, more than 110 million gadgets are connected. That means on the average, merong mga Pilipino na more than one mobile gadget ang hawak. Merong mga Pilipino na merong more than one electronic gadget na nakaka-connect sa internet. Ang pagmamay-ari, ang ginastusan, ang binili. 67% of Filipinos are internet users. 81% are active on social media. So whether it be Facebook or should I say Meta, Instagram, right now, not TikTok. I have yet to open a TikTok account, but I might consider. Importante rin na malaman natin, ano ba yung median age ng mga Pilipino? Ano ba yung tinatawag nila na demographic sweet spot? No? Because ang median age daw ng mga Filipinos are somewhere between 25 to 26 years old. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga active, energetic, and very productive. No? They're at the peak of their productive lives or nearing the peak of their productive lives. So ibig sabihin, mas matagal pang panahon silang mapapakinabangan ng mga businesses, public, private entities. And mas may potential pa sila to start earning money. But earning money is one thing, saving and investing money is another. So that's what we're going to try to talk about. No? Now, pagdating sa usage, we all have 24 hours a day. Whether nasa Philippines ka, or nasa Australia ka, nasa United States of America ka, we're all just given 24 hours a day. But in the Philippines, sabi ng data reportal, 11 and a half hours a day daw ang na-spend ng isang average Filipino online. So that's practically half a day. Natutulog ka, let's say 6-8 hours, and then you spend 11 and a half, 12 hours a day practically online. And then, pagdating naman sa connection, most of us are on the go. Most of us prefer to be on the go. That's why 98.5% of internet users, social media users are connecting by way of smartphones or mobile phones. Now, bakit natin pinag-usapan tong mga to? Kasi maganda na makita natin yung snapshot of what it is pagdating sa Pilipino, pagdating sa Pilipinas when it comes to connection, when it comes to social media, when it comes to the number of hours we spend a day online. Kasi mamaya pag-uusapan natin, tama ba yun? Masama ba to? Ano bang pwede natin gawin for it to benefit us? No? Now, sabi ko kanina when I was introducing this webinar, scammers are evolving. Their modus operandi, it keeps on evolving. Kasi kung nasan yung pera, doon sila napupunta. No? That's why if you're going to look at the scams, pagdating sa online fraud, yung mga naloloko online, madalas ang naririnig natin, nakikita natin sa social media, na naririnig natin, na nare-report sa news, may mga nabibiktima ng fake booking. And talk about fake booking, you're seeing more and more delivery riders, yung mga kuya natin na nagde-deliver ng pagkain, nagde-deliver ng items. You see more and more delivery riders getting victimized by fake bookings. You see online sellers falling prey to bogus buyers. Usually, ito yung mga, kunwari, nagpo-post ng legitimate items, nagpo-post ng mga in-demand na mga gamit. Tapos kapag nagbayad ka na ng down payment or worse, nakapagbayad ka na ng full payment, iboblock ka na sa Facebook, iboblock ka na dun sa platform, and then goodbye to your money. No? So you see more and more online sellers again falling victim to these bogus sellers na tinatawag natin, and bogus buyers na rin. And then there are more and more Filipinos getting their personal information stolen online. You see more and more Filipinos. Ako sa feed ko lang, over the past couple of days, I'm seeing people warning their Facebook friends na na-hack daw yung account nila. So huwag mag-entertain ng messages or calls or call for donation, call for money transfers. You see more and more of that, and again, it's an online fraud. It's an online scam to a certain extent. Now, despite the information campaign from public and even private entities, there are still people falling for phishing scams. Madaming klaseng phishing scams. But essentially, pag sinabi natin na phishing, ito yung mga emails, ito yung mga calls, sometimes even text, no, SMS, old school, or even website ads from fake companies or people pretending as employees, pretending as bank personnel, pretending, posing as representatives from financial institutions or government agencies asking for personal information. O ma'am, tumatawag po ako on behalf of Bank ABC. May nakita po kaming maling mga transactions, no? So sayang po yung pera nyo. If you will, please provide me with your name, with your tax identification number, with your mobile number, password, login credentials. And after a few minutes, after a few seconds, makikita mo yung online banking account mo na-hack na, no? You see madami pang klase, no, marami pa tayong klase ng phishing scams. In fact, maganda na alam natin kung ano yung mga examples niyan, because minsan akala natin tumutulong tayo pero nabibiktima na pala tayo, because meron tayong tinatawag na donation or charity scams, no. Merong mga fake donation drives, especially after natural calamities. Exactly a year ago, meron tayong Ulysses. So maraming mga Facebook pages na nagsulputan asking for donations, tapos ibinibigay sa GCash account ng isang tao, hindi sa isang foundation, hindi sa isang korporasyon, no? So, it's taking advantage of the public's goodwill. So it's best that you scrutinize emails, texts, websites, and perform a background check. Lalo na kung if you're being asked to deposit your donation to a personal account, so parang that's iffy, that's fishy. You have spoofed or fake sites, websites that appear to be legit, designed to trick users, to give personal information, details, and at the end of the day, para ma-access na yung account mo from the legit site. You have imposter scams or fake documents. Ito, mamaya pag-uusapan natin to, lalo na kay Iana, no? People pretending to be connected to financial institutions, government agencies, for example, federal land, faking their identities, faking their affiliation, providing you with fake IDs, to trick people to invest their money, to trick people to provide them with down payment, for example, pay their commissions, whatnot. So ang dami. And again, it really matters. At the end of the day, it all boils down to being aware. Ano ba yung mga ginagawa? Ano ba yung mga madalas na nangyayari? At ano ba yung mga mga modus operandi nitong mga investment scammers? And of course, ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. You have investment scammers. Because again, you have more and more online banking facilities, you have more and more online investment outlets being made available to the market. So, ganun din ang ginagawa ng mga investment scammers, since wala na silang makita na halos na because of the lockdown measures, because of curfew, because of practically the fear of contracting the virus. Halos wala nang taong gustong lumabas just for them to be able to transact, no? Lahat online na. And ganun din ang mga investment scammers. So please be aware, no? Be wary of people or companies na usually unlicensed, no, unregistered, offering high return but low risk investments. So sinasabi nila, double your money, Andoy, mag-invest ka sa akin ng 5,000 ngayon. A couple of days from now, babalik ako, bigyan kita ng 10,000 pesos, promise. Get rich quick scheme. You make money without practically doing anything. Those are, telltale signs of investment scams. And mamaya, mas pag-uusapan pa natin yun in granular detail. No? So here, what I'm trying to say here is financial literacy, education, awareness is very important. No amount of preparation, no amount of training will prepare you for real world tactics, lalo na sa mga investment scammers. Kaya importante na alam nyo kung ano yung mga pinaggagawa nila to fool people, no? Now, it pays to understand what your legitimate online investments are. You have deposits, you have bonds, you have stocks, and of course you have real estate. investments as your option. Pagdating sa deposits, iba-iba sila. No? Pagdating sa characteristics nila when it comes to risk, return, and time horizon. The lower the risk, the lower the return, the higher the potential risk, the higher the potential return. Iba-iba rin sila when it comes to their time horizon feature because the longer amount of time you invest your money, the higher it should pay you back. Pagdating sa deposits, you're talking about low risk, low return potential. Your money makes more money by way of interest. And then the ideal time horizon here is less than 1 year lang because napakababa ng regular interest rate ng isang deposit account na yun. And it's also very important for you, for our viewers to understand on Zoom, Facebook Live, that the reason why they're legitimate is also because of the fact that they are regulated by private and public entities. No? And in the case of deposits, it's regulated by no less than the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Pagdating sa bond market investing, you have to be prepared to take on medium risk. But at the end of the day, it's going to provide you with medium returns, so better returns compared to a regular deposit account. Your money makes more money two ways. Kanina sa deposits, one lang, no, interest lang. Dito sa bond market investing, you can make money by way of capital appreciation and at the same time coupon payments. And then because of its greater earnings potential, okay lang na medium term ang investment horizon mo dito. More than 1 year to about 10 years. And then it's jointly regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the Securities Exchange Commission. Pagdating naman sa stock market investing, high risk, high return na, no? So you have to be prepared. You have to embrace high level of risk. But at the end of the day, when you embrace a higher level of risk, you're also giving yourself and your money the potential to grow because of its high returns potential. Your money makes more money by way of capital appreciation and at the same time dividends. Yung dividendo, binibigay sa yan because you're a part owner of that corporation. And dividends, sabi nga natin, during sa mga previous webinars natin, it's also tantamount to profit sharing. So you're eligible to receive profits of the company because you are a part owner of that company by way of buying their publicly listed shares. It's okay when it comes to time horizon. It's okay to keep a long-term stance when it comes to stock market investing, better than 10 years, lalo na if you're in it for dividend play, appreciation. And then it's regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission, the Philippine Stock Exchange. Kami, mga brokers, mga trading participants, we're also regulated by the CMIC, Capital Markets Integrity Corporation, and of course, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And of course, last but not the least, you have real estate. Itong real estate, parati natin sinasabi, it's not just a form of investment. At the end of the day, kapag ayaw mo ng maging investment outlet ng real estate, pwede mo siyang gawing shelter, pwede mo siyang tiran, pwede mo siyang gawing ancestral house, pwede mo siyang ipasa, pwede mo siyang ibigay, pwede mo pa siyang ipamana sa next generation. So that's what makes it a very good investment outlet. At kaya siya yung nasa pinakataas, kaya siya yung nasa pedestal, no? Because it happens to be one of the more stable, crisis-proof, pandemic-proof investment outlets. It provides us with higher risk but also higher potential return. Ang risk naman ito, concentration risk, liquidity risk, because of its high barrier to entry. Our money makes more money by way of capital gains. Kumikita ang pera natin kasi tumataas ang zonal value, for example, tumataas ang value ng real estate because of higher demand, but you have less and less supply of available real estate. It provides us with a very good long-term investment opportunity, better than 10 years. And then you have quite a number of regulators. You have the Registry of Deeds, you have the Bureau of Internal Revenue, you have the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the Securities Exchange Commission, and to a certain extent, HLURD. So those are our legitimate investment outlets. Again, they're legit not just because they provide us with a sound investment option, they're also legit because they are being regulated by public and private entities. So, how do we spot? What are the telltale signs of an investment scam or an investment scammer? Number one, investment scammers always try to rush you into making a big financial decision. Minamadali ka, Andoy. kapag hindi ka pumayag, kapag hindi ka umuo, kapag hindi ka nag-approve dito sa proposal ko, bahala ka kasi i-offer ko to sa kapitbahay ko. I-offer ko to sa pinsan ko. I-offer ko to sa kamag-anak ko. So, parang you're being forced, no, to say yes, even if you have yet to make due diligence, even if you have yet to make even if you have yet to research about the facility. Bahala ka. Hindi ka man lang makapag-Google, no? Minamadali ka, game na, invest ka na, no? Pagdating sa investing, dapat walang pilitan, walang madalian, because again, it's your money, no? If it's a legitimate outlet, perhaps it can wait, especially for your decision, because you have to weigh the pros and the cons. You have to ask the right people the right questions for you to be able to make a sound investment decision. Ito pinaka-importante sa lahat, promises a guaranteed return with zero risk. At sabi nga natin kanina, low risk, low return, high risk, high return. There's no such thing as an investment outlet with zero risk or a very low chance of you losing money, pero napakataas ng potential for you to make a lot of money. Tapos may promise pa. Again, sabi nga natin, when it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Mahirap paniwalaan, no? Because again, when it comes to legitimate investment outlets, low risk equals low returns, high risk equals high returns. Maraming naniniwala pagdating sa investment scams kasi pinapakitaan sila ng mga tao on social media, mga comments ng mga investors daw, not knowing that they are business partners with the person you are dealing with, no? Shows you real life testimonials from sinasabi nilang existing investors, when in truth and in fact, they are just business partners na sinasabi na, okay to, 100% returns, na doble yung pera ko, kumita ako ng malaking halaga, not knowing that it's actually part of the scam. No questions asked. Bawal kang magtanong kasi nga minamadali ka. Bawal kang magtanong kasi hindi nila alam kung ano yung sagot sa tanong mo. Because again, they're not licensed professionals. They're not certified professionals. They don't know what they're talking about. Ang importante lang sa kanila is for them to get your money and then that's it. Alright? And then lastly, their claim to fame, at madalas ito yung nagiging dahilan bakit maraming nabibiktima, no, ng mga Pilipino. You're going to make money with very little to no effort at all. Pare, ibigay mo lang sa akin yung pera mo kahit matulog ka na buong araw. Babalik ako 2 days from now, dodoblehin natin yung pera mo. Di ba parang, kung may ganun talagang investment, bakit hirap pa rin ang mga Pilipino pagdating sa pera? Kung totoo yung mga bagay na yun, bakit wala kang naririnig na mga kumikita ng pera na ganun talaga? If they're claiming, if they're promising you the moons and the stars, if they're promising you great returns without the potential of your money, without the potential of you losing your money, again, guys, 100% of the time, you're dealing with an investment scammer. All right? So, now that we know kung ano ba ang mga telltale signs ng isang investment scammer, maganda rin na malaman natin, how do we protect ourselves from online investment scams, from online fraud? It all begins with a very strong password. Ito yung unang-unang line of defense natin pagdating sa scammers kasi hindi nila ma-access yung account natin, hindi nila ma-access yung social media account natin kung hindi nila alam kung ano ang email address mo. So huwag nating masyadong pinamimigay yung email address natin, especially personal email addresses. And then, syempre, dapat hindi nila alam kung ano yung password mo. Alright, yun yung dahilan bakit pag nagkikey in ka ng password mo, dot yan or asterisk, because syempre ayaw makita. Dapat hindi siya nakita ng ibang tao. So create a strong password, change it regularly, keep your personal and account information private. Huwag kang post ng mga, lalo na mga QR codes, no? Yung QR codes ng vaccine mo, huwag tayong post online because kapag na-scan yung QR code ng vaccine mo, it will reveal your name, your address, are you fully vaccinated or you're partially vaccinated, sinong nag-inject sa'yo. So ang daming mga personal information na nandun sa QR code na yun. If gusto mo talaga siyang i-post, then blur out mo. I-edit mo, lagyan mo ng sticker, lagyan mo ng GIF para hindi ma-scan ng mga tao online. And then if available, use facilities with MFAs, no, or multi-factor authentication, yung gumagamit ng biometrics, yung gumagamit ng additional codes, yung gumagamit ng patterns. And then for online facilities, put preference on facilities na gumagamit ng OTP or one-time PIN. Para sigurado ka na every time you transact, hindi magtutuloy yung transaction without you approving. So kung sakali mang ma-hack ka at meron kang one-time PIN, hindi magtutuloy yung fund transfer na ginagawa ng hacker because hawak mo yung phone. Unless of course, pati yung phone mo nanakaw at unless of course, alam nila kung paano i-operate yung phone mo. So it's very important that you use multi-factor authentication and put preference on facilities na merong one-time PIN or OTP. And of course, always be vigilant. Check natin kung sino ba talaga yung nagpapadala. Kasi minsan, meron niyang alias eh. Nakikita mo na it's sent by a legitimate financial institution. Pero pag kinlik mo yung name na yun, makikita mo na it's just a regular Yahoo or Gmail account. So always see to it, always make it a point na regardless of how great the sentences are constructed, regardless how legit it looks, always make it a point to check the source, check the email address. Don't just click links. Tingnan natin kung galing ba talaga to sa isang legitimate corporation, sa legitimate na tao, sa legitimate na site. And then just in case you receive something, make it a point to report. No? Kahit hindi ka na biktima, syempre mas maganda na aware yung mga legitimate entities, mga regulators na may mga gantong perpetrators just so they can act upon it. All right? Now, it's also very important na, meron tayong maintain na hygiene. Maintaining top-tier hygiene is the key to beating COVID-19. But maintaining top-tier online hygiene also happens to be the key to avoid getting victimized by investment scammers. Again, when it comes to the anatomy of a strong password, dapat meron kang ginagamit na upper and lower case para mahirap siyang hulaan. You use special characters, you use numbers para alphanumeric, para again, mahirap siyang hulaan. It's also very important for you to again keep on reminding you, protect your personal data. Huwag tayong post ng post. Secure financial transactions by not connecting to perhaps a public Wi-Fi. Very important yan, no? Kasi madaling ma-hack lalo na if you're connected using a public Wi-Fi. Give yourself confidence, of course, by opening an account with an established name, allowing you to use, again, multi-factor authentication, OTPs, whatnot. And of course, syempre, at the end of the day, huwag nating ipabaliwala na lang yung investment outlets natin. Always make sure that you are putting your money in legitimate and regulated investment outlets. No? I keep on telling my friends, I keep on telling my relatives, I keep on telling our viewers, our FirstMetroSec family, investigate before you invest. You don't need to rush into making a financial decision, especially if it involves your hard-earned money. Pero mo yan, so huwag kang magmamadali. Only trust licensed, certified investment professionals. These are people whom you can ask questions about anything and everything investments. Ano ba yung returns potential nila? Ano ba yung mga risks involved? And of course, these are people who are trained to guide. We are trained to guide. We're trained to educate. We're not really trained to sell. We keep on saying those things because that's what's really happening on the ground. No? Importante rin na malaman natin kung paano ba ma-verify. How do we fact check? Research about the investment company and of course the person you are talking to by looking up their names via pse.com.ph if you're talking about stock brokerage firms and brokers. And then pagdating naman sa mga mutual funds, pagdating sa mga fund managers, please go to www.sec.gov.ph para makita nyo yung names ng mga registered companies and registered salespersons. Kaya sabi ni Yana kanina doon sa introduction, importante yun na alam nyo that the people you're listening to, the people you're asking your questions to, the people you're talking to are licensed by regulators. And of course, I keep on telling you guys, kanina pa to, nothing beats knowing what's right from wrong. Importante na alam natin, no? We're financially illiterate. Alam natin kung ano yung mga features ng investment outlets. Alam natin kung ano yung mga legitimate outlets so that we can separate the good from the bad, the right from the wrong, legit from scams. Now, sabi natin kanina, we all have 24 hours a day. Diba? Sabi natin kanina, ang mga Pilipino, on the average, sabi nung report, no, we spend 11 and a half hours. Sige, round up na natin to 12. Practically half a day online. All right? So the question is, are we actually using that 11 and a half hours? Are we using that 12 hours browsing our social media accounts? Or are we using that to make ourselves and perhaps our money productive? Again, I can't answer that question. This is me asking you that question. We all have 24 hours a day. Are we using that? No? Are we using that 11 and a half hours? Are we using that 12 hours online, wasting time, money, and internet data? Or are we using that to learn a new skill online? Are we using that 11 and a half hours a day playing online games? Or are we using that to sell products online and make money off of it? Are we using that 11 and a half hours a day watching vlogs or perhaps creating our own vlogs to make money off of it? We all have 24 hours a day. Filipinos spend 11 and a half hours a day online. Are we using it to binge on movies and TV series? I have nothing against it. Lalo na kung tapos na yung workday, wala kayong ginagawa, nagpapaantokan. Again, nothing against that. But madalas kasi ang nangyayari is sumusobra. Are we using time, money, resources on-demand entertainment? Or are we using it to create a business page or a website to make money off of it? Are we using that 12 hours a day following celebrities online, or are we using it to follow a healthy workout program? Again, the choice is us. The choice is yours, no? Tingnan natin kung ano ba mas productive. Ano ba yung mas maganda for us, no? Ano ba yung mas beneficial for us? Are we using that 11 and a half hours a day chasing money? Or perhaps are we using that to start creating opportunities for us to attract more money? And ang dami nun, you know? Ang dami nun. When you talk about opportunities, when you talk about choices, when you talk about options, please don't stop at just being able to afford. Ito yung kay Hygiene Diaz, no? Champ Enjoy Super Meal. I checked Jollibee's website. It's priced at 264 pesos. No, walang masama. Okay ito. You know, may kasama pa tong mga trading cards ni Hygiene Diaz, so limited edition. And I have nothing against it. All I'm really saying is, you can buy with that amount of money. You can also buy a share of Jollibee Foods Corporation for as little as 245 pesos as of end of trading day to day. And the good news is, with that, you also get to buy ownership ng Greenwich, Chowking, Mang Inasal, Red Ribbon, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, FA24, and several other local and international brands under the JFC Group. Don't just stop. May mga titos and titas of Manila dyan na mapilsen, no? Don't just stop at being able to afford to buy a San Miguel Beer Grande for 110 pesos. I checked online, parang sa Lazada ko ata nakita. Imagine, you can buy San Miguel Beer Grande Pale Pilsen from Lazada, 110 pesos. Because for as little as 75 pesos per share, you can buy a share of San Miguel Food and Beverage Corporation, which also gives you ownership into Pure Foods, Magnolia, Monterey, Star, Dairy Cream, San Miguel Pale Pilsen, the brand, and then Ginebra San Miguel. All right. So again, the choice is ours to make. Don't just snap on a supersized Piatos party pack for 140 pesos, because for as little as 131 pesos per share, you can buy a share of Universal Robina Corporation. Don't just cook Lucky Me Pancit Canton, lalo na nagugutom kayo for midnight snack, which retails for 11 pesos per sachet, 11 pesos per pack. because for as little as 18 pesos per share, konti na lang yung idadagdag mo, pwede ka na makabili ng isang share ng Mondi Nissin Corporation. Diba? So again, the choice is yours. And obviously, all these things are available online. Ganun din, pagdating sa pagbili ng shares of stocks nila online. Everything's also available online. How do you make money online? You have a lot of options. Sabi nga natin kanina, you may start an online business. You may post your properties for rent or lease online. You may start a vlog, create a YouTube channel, think of a gig, think of a side hustle, make money off of it. But most importantly, maganda na alam din natin, we can actually start investing online. We can buy stuff online, we can order food online, but we can also make money by investing in legitimate outlets online. And the good news is, the Philippines' best online stock brokerage firm, FirstMetroSec, can make it possible for you. You know, you may start investing in stocks, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, and even real estate investment trusts online by just opening one account for all your investment needs. You know, so mutual funds from the biggest companies in the Philippines. And again, the good news is if you are investing in mutual funds through FirstMetroSec, zero sales loads, zero transaction fees, and zero commissions because you're doing it on your own. Invest on the go. Yeah, sabi natin kanina, make money on the go, grow money on the go. You may invest on the go with the Philippines' most advanced trading platform. Ang tawag natin, FirstMetroSec Go. This is something you can download for free, whether you are running on Android or iOS. Take advantage of our platform's artificial intelligence and allow it to do the technical analysis for you with our chart pattern recognition system, Recognia. Get access to our daily, weekly, and even monthly research reports for your fundamental analysis. Take advantage of our conditional orders to protect your investments from risk, which thereby increases your potential gains. Automate your investing through our voluntary investment program for 1,500 pesos. Funding your account is also a breeze through our online funding and bills payment platforms highlighted here. You have Metrobank Online, Metrobank app, PS Bank Online, and Metro Remit. And of course, Earnest, something na pag-uusapan natin mamaya, care of Bianca. And of course, on-demand lectures, tutorials, learning programs in our official YouTube channel. Hear it first from me and my team by joining our Viber and Facebook online communities. And if you would like to take that first step, that very important first step to investing online, account opening is purely online, on the go, absolutely paperless and accessible 24/7, even during weekends and holidays. So walang excuse. Just visit www.firstmetrosec.com.ph or scan the QR code right in front of you. Complete the registration form and upload the documents online. So here's the catch. And here's one of the many benefits of attending FirstMetroSec, Metrobank, and the Federal Land webinars. When you get asked by the system, how did you learn about us? Just click seminar or event and type in our special seminar code, investigate. Investigate. And then that's it. And the good thing about this is when you use this special seminar code, when you use this special event code, waive na po yung exempted na po kayo sa video interview. Sa video interview requirement. No? Again, because this is a proof that you were able to learn about FirstMetroSec, our products and services, and our account opening facility through a webinar made possible by Federal Land, Metrobank, and of course, FirstMetroSec. So seminar code, when you get asked by the system, how did you learn about us, click seminar or event and type in investigate. All right? Now, if you'd like to have our very own customized, gamified and world-class financial literacy programs for your students, for your employees, for your organization, just send us an email via marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. Please do follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, Viber. And that's it, no? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with FirstMetroSec, Federal Land, and Metrobank. Pero introduction lang po yan. You still have a lot to learn from my partners Bianca and Yana. But before I leave you, please allow me to remind you that again, at this day and age when where almost everything is on demand, gusto natin lahat ngayon na, right here, right now, never forget to take it one step at a time. Kasi ang bilis ng, sobrang fast-paced ng buhay natin. No? Because good things take time. Good things come to those who wait, but good things take time. Always keep in mind that you keep on spending and spending and spending and spending money, you're going to keep on losing and losing and losing your hard-earned money, especially if you're spending them on unnecessary stuff. But if you see to it that you save and invest, especially in legitimate outlets, para hindi kayo nasa scam, you open accounts, you save accounts, you save money sa mga legitimate platforms, eventually you'll reap the benefits of your sacrifices. Because doing so will bring you one payday closer and closer and closer to your dream goals. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And this has been Andoy Beltran from FirstMetroSec. So this is we can now transition from FirstMetroSec to perhaps Yana or Bianca. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that very informative discussion, Sir Andoy. And I'm sure maraming tinamaan, no? Kasi even me, hindi ako nakailag sa pansit canton. I'm one of those people who eat at midnight while studying investments. So actually, I'm sure you would agree, no, sir? Kasi even there's a lot of people who ask me, should I invest in this? Should I invest in that? And I only have one question to them. Do you know about that investment? And the moment that they say no, I would say, then wag mong papasukin yan. Don't. Study it first, whether it's legit kasi or not, whether it's a scam or not, diba? Parang you really have to study it first. Wag kang papasok sa isang bagay na hindi mo alam. Diba? Would you agree, sir, Ms. Bianca?
Oh, me? Yes, absolutely. No, so it's, I think before you get involved in any investment, it's always good to do your homework, do your research. Andoy mentioned it naman, no? Investigate before you start investing. Just para lang you can arm yourself also and be protected kasi pera pa rin yan, diba? And so you want to make sure that wherever you're putting your money, you're confident about the option in front of you.
Yes, true. So I can see a lot of questions for Sir Andoy, but later on we will answer them. So right now, let's talk about how you would study about these investments. How would you know yourself? And that is care of Miss Bianca.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me just try to share my screen. Great. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bianca Gray. I lead product and marketing for the digital banking division of Metrobank. Andoy, I think, has done a great job in setting the context today on how to spot investment scams and how to figure out what options are legit. I know he shared a lot of tips, and so I just want to build on that. So for my part, I want to focus on how you could increase your chances of success when investing so that you can also stay protected. So I'm with Metrobank now, but I think as Yana has mentioned earlier, my career, I built it in digital marketing. And so I didn't always used to be a banker. In fact, one of my first jobs was to sell a now popular e-wallet to OFWs. This is more than a decade ago, and convince them that they should send their remittances using the e-wallet instead of spending their day off going to a padala center. So I remember being in Hong Kong. This photo is not mine, but I remember this exact scene, where I would be in one of those small stores there with a karaoke mic and my external speaker, trying to convince our kababayan that they should send their money to their kapamilya here in the Philippines through their phone. So back then, this concept of a wallet on your phone was definitely ahead of its time. And yet, fast forward to today, and I bet everyone or practically everyone in this webinar uses the e-wallet that I used to promote, or at least something similar. In fact, some of you may even have more than e-wallet or payment app that you use regularly. So I think times have really changed. We have the pandemic that's happening now, the acceleration of technology, and both those things have brought us to this point where it's commonplace to use online channels, not just for your transactional money, fast money, the money you use every day, but even for your slow money, the money that you use over time for things such as investing. So as you try to assess your position and the options that are available for you in this digital environment, I would like to share with you 3 things that I've learned from a career in the digital space and now more recently as a banker that can help you increase your chances of success when investing. First, wait, counting lag, hold on. There. Andoy has hit on this already actually earlier, no? But I really do want to build on the point of knowing yourself and knowing your plan. 11/11 just finished, and I don't know how many of you participated in that big shopping event online, but personally, I know how easy it is to get caught up in budol purchases when you don't have a plan in place. E-commerce sites nowadays are really good at getting you to buy related items as you're scrolling through their feed. And it's easy to keep clicking the button if you haven't set guardrails in place. The same goes for when you're investing. Whether you're starting out or have been investing for a while, it's important to know your goals, your limits, so you could set guardrails. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but you should at least know the answer to these questions. First one being, why are you investing? Is it to earn extra income? Is it to set yourself up for retirement? Is it to buy a condo? Knowing your why will help you plan out what types of investments to get into and how you'll use the profits later on. How much money are you willing to invest? It's good to set aside a budget and know how much you can afford, or how regularly you can top up your investments. How much time are you willing to commit? Again, this goes back to your goal. Are you investing more for the short term, for the long term? Your strategy and investment options can vary, and the type of options available to you will depend on what your answers to these questions are. And lastly, how much risk are you willing to take? So Andoy also mentioned this earlier. No? Remember that there are no guarantees when investing. While we all want to see profits, the reality is that doesn't always happen. So how comfortable are you with losing the money you've invested? Knowing this will help you better assess your options and help you stay the course when things go wrong. And even if you've been investing for a while, even if you have a plan already in place, it's still good to revisit these questions and see if anything has changed. Because why is it important to know yourself and to know your goals? For example, no one could have predicted how the market would have reacted to this pandemic, no? Without a plan, it's easy to panic when you see the value of your investment drop. Cut loss na ba yan? Or do you hold? Go back to your goals. On the flip side, just like an unplanned budol, it's easy to get tempted by FOMO or fear of missing out when you hear of an investment option that sounds too good, maybe too good to be true. I'm sure you've all heard of opportunities over the last year of a friend who was able to double their money by buying this particular investment option, and maybe they were able to double it in a week or whatnot, no? Andoy has spoken about the increase of investment scams, but even if it was a legit option, it might not be the right option for you based on your plan. So it's good to know what your plan is. And when you have your plan, times have really changed now that I think it could still be hard to figure out what the legitimate options are. And so the second thing that I'd hope you keep in mind, especially when you're starting out, is you may want to consider investing in reputable or established assets. In stocks, for example, you might want to consider what are called blue chips. So these are stocks of well-recognized, financially stable companies. Medyo marami yung examples ni Andoy kanina, whether diba, parang you want Chicken Joy or just buy a stock, etc. And these examples are oftentimes the ones that you can find naman in the PSEI. For other formal investments, consider options from institutions that have a strong reputation of trust. Ones that have been around for a while, aren't fly-by-nights, and have a proven track record. Maybe rethink investment options that are too gimmicky, at least when you're starting your investment journey. And the third and last thing I hope you do is get the knowledge you need to expand your own financial education. Again, part of consumer protection is arming yourself with the right knowledge. I can tell you that, in my family, when I was growing up, my parents didn't really talk to us about money. it wasn't so much that it was taboo, it was just not something they did, no. And I know that this is pretty common in the Philippines, so we don't openly really talk about money. And so when I wanted to start investing, I had to learn about it myself. I read, I tried to engage with other people, and now that now that I'm working in a bank, I've learned so much more and deepened my understanding of how to better grow and manage my money. And I'm almost 40. And I can tell you, it's never too late to start learning and to continue to grow. And I get it. I recognize that the investing space can be intimidating, but there's a lot of jargon. Concepts can seem complicated, and sometimes it's hard to ask for advice. Even if you do your own research on Google, on social media, talk to friends, it can also be hard to filter through all the available content. How do you determine what is true? How do you determine what do you believe? And for you to be able to discern and think about your options, you have to continue to learn. I think it's great, for everyone here, that you've taken this opportunity to expand your knowledge by attending this webinar. And I hope you continue to find avenues to learn investment basics. And this leads me to my shameless plug, but it's really one of the things that I am most proud of with the app my team developed called Earnest. We created an app that simplifies investment concepts and makes it easy to invest with Metrobank when you're ready. All you need is a mobile phone. We've added bite-sized lesson cards so you can start learning on the go. But if you want something more in-depth, we have articles for you too, that actually explain money myths, investment terms, and the like. And since we designed Earnest for someone who is beginning their investment journey, we also have a weekly digest to explain what happened in the market last week and what it means for you as an investor. Because we recognize that sometimes it's hard to understand about what's going on in the economy and what does it mean for you. We want you to feel confident and ready, armed with the knowledge you need to start investing. And when you're ready to invest, all you really need is a Metrobank account. So you can start investing in one of our unit investment trust funds. We wanted to make this experience as easy as possible. So even if you are currently not our client, you can open a Metrobank savings account using the Earnest app. And this is what you can use as your settlement account when investing on Earnest to fund your investments and receive your profits. Now, the account you can open here is a regular account, savings account. So you can also use it as your settlement account when you start investing with FirstMetroSec. So learning and investing is made simple with Earnest. I promise, we don't like jargon too. We want to make your investing experience as easy and convenient as possible. So you don't need to go to a branch. All you need is your phone. And whether it's through Earnest or through market education programs of FirstMetroSec, or through webinars such as this one from Federal Land, the more you know, the more you can grow. And so as you continue to learn more, you can better assess your investment options and even refine your investment plan down the line. So to recap, when you're starting your investment journey, or perhaps looking at your options, it's good to keep in mind these 3 things to increase your chances of success when investing in the new digital landscape. Know yourself, know your plan, invest in reputable assets, and get the knowledge you need. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your time today. If you're interested to start your investment journey with Metrobank, you can find the Earnest Investing app on the Apple and Google app stores. And I believe at this point, so Andoy has talked to you about the context and the background, how to protect yourself from scams. I wanted to build on that by talking about how then can you increase your chances of success, just in case you have a hard time spotting the scam. And I would like to turn you over to Yana, who will also give you more information when it comes to investing in real estate properties in terms of how you stay protected as well.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Bianca. And yeah, I do agree that there's a lot of jargons when it comes to investing. So that's why right now nga ang swerte-swerte ng mga ng generation right now, because information is very much available online. And there's a lot of webinars, there's a lot of materials that you can find online wherein you can do self-study. It's like before kasi, di ba, parang when you say you're an investor, the impression is you graduated with a financial course or something like that. Right now, whether you have zero knowledge in investing, you can really start investing, no?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
right now, sige, Miss Bianca.
I was just gonna add to that and say, I know even if you self-study, minsan mahirap pa rin himayin, di ba, yung content and to figure out. And I know sometimes banks are also guilty of that, of adding a lot of jargon when it comes to investing. And so that's really one of the things that we're trying to do in Earnest, making it much more accessible for people who just want to learn basics to be able to do that through the app.
Yeah. Yun nga most of the investment lectures right now are about mga time deposits, about stocks. And what I've noticed is there's very few materials that are available when it comes to real estate investing. So that's why this is what I want to talk to you about right now. And I promise I will try to be as simple as possible. So now let's move on to growing your money in real estate investing. So we can all agree na when it comes to investing in real estate, ito lang ang mga pagpipilian mo dyan eh. You can earn by capital appreciation, you buy it low, you sell it at a higher price, or you do flipping wherein you ganun din buy din siya ng mababa and then chances are you will remodel it and then you sell it also at a higher price. Or the most common now is via rentals. And while it's easy to invest now, especially in real estate, pre-pandemic pa lang, we've been seeing a lot of posts online, and real estate brokers, real estate sellers have been taking advantage of online ads and social media when it comes to selling their properties. So because of that, yung na-mention nga ni Sir Andoy kanina, diba, na nag-evolve yung mga scammers. So where the trend is, if the investors are going online, then the scammers are also going online. So let me show you some of the investment scams in real estate. So investment scam number 1, these are the too good to be true offers. So as mentioned by Sir Andoy, as mentioned by Miss Bianca, if it's too good to be true, it really is too good to be true. And these are properties that are offered at a very cheap price to entice the buyer. So usually this is much cheaper than the neighboring properties. So if the property is too cheap compared dun sa katabi niya, medyo magtaka ka na eh. Kasi why, diba? Parang you have to ask, what is the reason behind it? Why is the seller selling it at a cheaper price? Although sometimes the reason is legit. Baka naman the seller is in dire need of cash or emergency siya, kaya they need to liquidate it agad, and the fastest way to liquidate it is to sell it cheaper. But then, if kagaya niyan, let's say the market value of the area is running at 200,000 pesos per square meters, and then they're only selling it at 80,000 pesos per square meters, nakakapagtaka na talaga siya. All right, so scam number 2, the expectation versus reality. And this is common for when you hire a contractor or to construct a house, a building, or any establishment. It can also be misrepresentations, like during a pre-selling property, or sometimes the plan is different from the actual delivered units. Or worse, yung mga natatakbuhan, so they don't finish the property na mismo. So moving on to scam number 3, these are the fake agents. And I am referring to the unlicensed real estate service practitioners, or worse, professional scammers talaga sila. So sometimes even licensed brokers, it's not really a guarantee na they will not scam you kasi at the end of the day, these are all humans. So they can scam you in the form of overcharging commissions. Those who are charging commission na on the buyer and also on the seller and without their consent or without them knowing. So the advantage naman kasi if you're dealing with licensed professionals, at least you would be somehow assured that these professionals have gone through licensure, they've gone through education, and they would be able to discuss the property or the investment to you in more details. So scam number 4, these are the fake listings. Ito very common with social media posts. And this has an intention to defraud the buyer, either with a double sale or estafa. Dito pa naman sa atin sa Philippines, pag na-estafa ka na or natakbuhan ka na natakbo na yung pera mo, ang hirap niya ng habulin. And in the case naman of double sale, ito yung the seller will promise you that, example, this corner unit is for sale, and then you would find out that there is already a buyer. The general rule here in the Philippines is the first one to register that property in good faith is the rightful owner. So there are a lot of ways to avoid these scams, no? And in every investment decision that you make, you have to make sure that you practice due diligence. And according to Investopedia, due diligence is an investigation, audit, or review performed to confirm facts or details of a matter under consideration, which in this case are investments. Di ba nga, sabi ni Sir Andoy, investigate before you invest. So in property investing, there are 3 things that you have to verify. First is the broker or the agent. Second is the property itself. And of course, the seller or the developer. So in property investing, you have to legit check the broker or the agent. Are you dealing with licensed professionals? So that is the most important question. So pre-pandemic, no, real estate brokers and agents have been maximizing the social media and digital ads to promote the properties that they are selling. Sometimes it's even from people that you know, but most of the time, you have not met these people at all. So you have to do a legit check with your broker or agent, and you can do this by later. I will show you some tips on how you can legit check your broker. But first, what is the importance of dealing with licensed real estate sellers in the first place? So let me ask you. Example, you are going to undergo a medical surgery, and then you find out that the surgeon is not licensed. Would you even go through with it? Or something as simple as this. How about you would want to hire a driver, and then he would tell you he doesn't have a driver's license. So whatever your answer is, whether you would still hire that professional or not, that is up to you. But you have to understand the risk of getting someone unlicensed. Kasi if they are unlicensed, simply put, they are koloro. Well, the question is, again, is a license a guarantee that you won't get any complications from the surgery? Or does it mean that the driver will not get into any accidents forever? Of course not. Kasi at the end of the day, they're still human. But you have to minimize the risk of getting someone not totally unauthorized to begin with. And in the event that there is proven negligence, at least you have the proper authorities to go to. So in property investing, it may not be a matter of life and death decision, like my examples, but it can be a matter of your life savings. And we have 2 laws that govern these licensed professionals. So we have the Real Estate Service Act of the Philippines, which is RA 9646. It says that no person shall practice or offer to practice real estate service in the Philippines unless he or she has satisfactorily passed the licensure examination, a holder of a valid certificate of registration and TRC ID, and have paid the required bond. And the other law is the PD 957, which is the Subdivision and Condominium Buyers Protective Decree, which says that no real estate dealer broker, or salesman shall engage in the business of selling subdivision lots or condominium units unless he has registered himself with the authority. So for you to be able to legit check your broker, you just have to go to the PRC website and choose the online verification. You can actually try this right now if you know someone who is a professional. And it's not just limited to real estate brokers. You can actually check everyone who claims that they are a PRC professional. Like examples are engineers, architects, or nurses. So there are two ways now that you can either verify by name or by license. For this one, let's use yours truly as an example. So you just have to choose the profession, enter the first name and last name, and click verify. And if they are registered, they will appear here. So if you only know the name and the profession of the professional, then you will see if they are registered with PRC, but you will not be able to see if the license is still valid or when is the expiration date. You can do that with this next example. You can verify by license number. So again, yours truly as an example, you choose a profession, type in the license number, but I do apologize, I have to blur my date of birth here, and then just click verify. So compared to the verification by name, this way it will show you more details about the professional, such as when they initially registered, when is the expiration date, and the current status of the license. So that is one, that is via the PRC website. The other one is for the DHSUD accreditation. We also check it online on their website, but I believe because of the pandemic, there has been some delays with updating this list. But if you really want to be sure, you may contact them. Either you call them or you send them an email or go to their office to check if the broker or the agent is accredited. So another way for you to legit check the person is by searching their social media accounts or pages. How long have they joined? Do they have a lot of friends? Do you have mutual friends that you can ask? If their account or page is new, it can be suspicious, but it doesn't automatically mean na scammer siya agad. Baka naman talagang he or she is just new in the industry. But if that's the case, you would need more investigation, and you have to be more careful if you're dealing with new real estate practitioners. So for the secondary market, or what we call the resale units, does a broker or agent have an authority to sell? And if you're dealing with a realty company, you can ask to check their registration with the SEC, DTI, and their business permits. So if you see the listing online, you can research about the property and the developer. You can check if the details are accurate in their official websites. Is the developer really offering that property like that? And you can also check the developer if they even exist. Either you can do your own research online or you can actually go to their office. So for resale properties, you can research about the area. You can check Google Maps, Street View, or you can go to the actual site to see if the property exists. Because you also have to remember that while online has made lives easy for us, the common problem with online ads is that photos can be retouched and videos, especially when taken with wide-angle cameras, can be very deceiving. So now let's do a legit check on the property. You can verify this by checking the proof of ownership. Verify the authenticity of that title, and of course, conduct an ocular inspection. So in terms of property ownership, there are properties with title and those without title. So question, if there is no title, does it automatically mean scam siya agad? The answer is no, because a deed of absolute sale, tax declaration, real property tax receipts, and transfer of rights are considered as valid proof of ownership. But the process here would be more tedious as compared to the ones with title. So for the sake of this webinar, we'll just be focusing on the properties with title. And most the most common ones that we know is the transfer certificate of title, which is the title for lands, and the condominium certificate of title, which is a title for condominiums. So there are several ways to check the authenticity of that land title. So land titles are produced solely by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. They use papers similar to that of bank checks. It is unique, distinguishable, and has a specialized imprint on it. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. We won't be delving much into the details. And also, you can scrutinize the contents of the title. As mentioned, you can take a screenshot because I'm not really expecting you guys to be able to absorb all of these, because the fastest and the most foolproof way for you to be able to verify the title is by presenting it to the Registry of Deeds and secure a certified true copy. So once they verify the title that it is legit, bibili na ba agad? Not yet. You must check first the annotations, if the property is mortgaged or are there any liens and encumbrances. If there is, and the seller insists that it is a clean title, then you have the right to demand that they have to have these annotations lifted first before you buy that property. And of course, nothing beats to see is to believe by seeing the actual property with your own eyes. Why? Because if you visit the site, you can see if the property really exists. Or if it's a pre-selling property, what is the current status of the area? Were there any groundbreaking that happened? Does the address even exist? Does the property have an occupant? Is it the same in the pictures or videos? Are there any encroachments? So if you're abroad and you can't physically check the property by yourself, you can ask a trusted relative or a friend or even a licensed broker to check the site for you. And of course, you must do a legit check on the seller or the developer. It's a seller if it's a person, and if the seller is a person, you must ask for identification. You must check if the name of the seller in his valid ID is the same as the one registered in the title. Is the seller married? Is the property co-owned by 2 or more persons? Because the important thing here is the consent of the parties to sell the property. Is the property under a corporation, or is the seller represented by an attorney in fact, or what we call the SPA? These are all important questions because we don't want any hassles when it comes to transferring the name of the property. And those legit checks are if you are the buyer. So what if you are the seller? Because if you bought a property, eventually you will be selling that property then. So now that you are selling your property, you must also do a legit check for your buyer. And you must watch out for the pseudo buyers. Ito yung may mga suspicious activities, because just recently, the Congress passed the Anti-Money Laundering Act amendments. It was recently amended this year, February 2021. Now that real estate transactions are now covered by the AMLA. And the thing is with AMLA, they can actually ask for a freeze order on your bank account. So if mapasahan ka lang, if they link, there is a link, even though you're not the one who had any suspicious activities, it's your buyer, the mere fact that you accepted cash from someone who has suspicious activities, then the Anti-Money Laundering Council can have a freeze order on your account. So now that if you are buying a property from a developer, you can do a legit check by researching about the track record of that developer. How long has the company been in the business? How many projects have they made and are constructing right now? You can also check if they have complied with the necessary registrations with the DHSUD and if the projects have license to sell. All of these, you can check it online at the DHSUD website. And as an example, please allow me to show you what you should be looking for in a developer such as Federal Land. So Federal Land is one of the fastest growing real estate developers in the country, and it has been reshaping and personifying the skyline of key cities in the Philippines with iconic structures and world-class developments for over 49 years. We pride ourselves with the company's financial stability and its industry track record. Federal Land is a member of GT Capital Holdings, one of the largest business conglomerates in the country with a market capitalization of 3.5 billion US dollars. GT Capital Holdings owns market-dominant businesses in the underpenetrated sectors of the economy, such as in banking, which is Metrobank, in automotive, Toyota, in property development, Federal Land, in life and general insurance, AXA, and infrastructure and utilities, Metro Pacific Investments. Federal Land has a number of prestigious global brand partnerships for its various property developments and reinvents the standards of project planning and development with innovative technology. Federal Land has teamed up with Japanese financial firm Oryx Corporation and Grand Hyatt International of Chicago to introduce Grand Hyatt Manila Residences, the first residential condominium in Southeast Asia carrying the Grand Hyatt brand. Federal Land has also partnered with two of the biggest names in Japan's prime real estate and retail industries, Nomura Real Estate Development and Isetan Mitsukoshi Holdings, to bring a piece of Japan in the Philippines. The Seasons Residences and the very first Mitsukoshi Mall, offering a uniquely Japanese mall-going experience. Federal Land also partnered with Japan's Oryx Corporation for its residential projects in Makati and Ortigas with the Grand Midori Makati, which is launched in 2007, and the Grand Midori Ortigas in 2019. Federal Land has also partnered with Marco Polo Hotels International for its hotel and branded residences in Cebu, the Marco Polo Plaza and Marco Polo Residences. In partnership with SMBC, Federal Land has collaborated with the world's renowned design firm Foster & Partners for its first residential project in the Philippines along Ayala Avenue, adding a jewel in the Makati skyline, the Estate Makati, the most ultra-luxury project in the country. Federal Land delivers real estate projects that are of world-class standard in design and structural durability, thus this partnership with the experts in the industry. And considering the track record, Federal Land have increased in value significantly since launch, particularly in the BGC Taguig and Macapagal Bay Area Pasay, by 130 and 260% respectively. Historically, real estate project values have grown consistently throughout the years and continue to do so, making real estate the best investment option despite the economic or pandemic situation. And in Cebu, Federal Land's prime residential project, Marco Polo Residences, started at 96,000 pesos per square meters, and now it is an average of 160,000 per square meters. And lastly, it offers privacy and exclusivity because of its strategic locations and accessibility to integrated communities that provides convenience to its residents. Federal Land has an extensive project network with 20 active residential projects. We have townships or integrated communities of residential, commercial, and office developments. The luxurious Grand Central Park Township in North Bonifacio Global City, Metro Park in the Macapagal Bay area, and Markenton Township in Marikina. All right, so now that you verified that the broker, property, and developer is legit, it doesn't end there, because I want you to do one more legit check, and that is to check that your transactions are also legit. Make sure that all your payments go directly to the account of the seller or the developer and under nobody else's name. Also, please do not give blank checks to your agent unless you really trust them, and always request for copies of your official receipts, statement of account, and copies of your documents. And if you bought it pre-selling or under construction, ask for construction updates of your property. And finally, let me show you what are the latest updates on the government efforts for the Philippines real estate industry. So on February 2019, the President signed a law creating the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. This measure consolidates the administrative functions of the HLURB and the HUDCC. And the new department is now mandated to establish housing one-stop processing centers, which will centralize processing and issuance of housing-related permits, clearances, and licenses. So what happened to HLURB? It was now reconstituted into the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission. This is an independent quasi-judicial institution with jurisdiction on cases involving real estate developments and transactions. So you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to file a case that is related to real estate, you can go to their website at hsac.gov.ph. They even have a calculator of fees that so you can have an idea how much the professional fee will that case take. Next is the Congress passed RA 9160 of 2001, or the AMLA of 2001. It was, as mentioned earlier, it was recently amended on February of 2021 because real estate transactions are now covered by AMLA. And money laundering is a crime where the proceeds of an unlawful activity are transacted to make them appear to have originated from legitimate sources. So talamak din siya kasi with real estate because these people, they know that real estate always appreciates. So they always put their money in real estate and then they will resell it later, making the money clean afterwards. So for the purposes of real estate, it is a cash transaction involving developers or brokers exceeding 7.5 million pesos. And on July of this year, DHSUD signed a joint memorandum circular on the formation of an anti-illegal real estate service practices interagency task force. So leading the national task force will be the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, which is a DHSUD, co-chaired by the Department of Interior and Local Government and the Department of Justice, and with the DENR, PRC, NBI, LRA, PNP, and I've also read that the Public Attorney's Office will be joining as well as members of the force, and they are committed to address illegal activities affecting the sector. So their aim is to have a stronger effort from the national, regional, and local level in ending such unlawful practices. So to wrap things up, what we've talked about, I would like to borrow this acronym from the DHSUD and as an investor's guide, so it's easy to remember. Whether you are investing in real estate, stocks, bonds, or any other investments, you have to remember to dream. So you have to demand for the licenses and certifications of the investment provider or the practitioner. You must read and understand every item stated in the contract and ensure that the details are accurate before signing any documents or agreeing to any deals. You have to engage only with legitimate, licensed, and accredited investments, providers, or practitioners. You have to ask. Please don't be shy to ask if you don't understand anything or clarify vague or unstated details in contracts and other questions about the investment. Investigate on the credibility and standing of the company. And lastly is to move. Practice due diligence by investigating before you invest. And with that, you have to really dream, and good luck on your investment journeys. So may I please call on Ms. Bianca and Sir Andoy to join me again. So I hope that you've learned a lot about my discussion here.
I loved your content, I have to say. I think it's a really good reminder, even very meaty in terms of the things that people should consider when buying a property. Amazing. Thanks so much, Yana.
Yeah, same here. Learned a lot from your presentation, Yana. So I'm pretty sure our participants from Zoom and also those on Facebook also learned a thing or two about safeguarding their real estate investment transactions. Yeah, good job, Galing.
Thank you for the compliment. So now it's time for us to answer some questions here, and I'm seeing a lot of questions. Ayan, so let's start off with Alfredo. What are the examples of cyber hygiene? I think this is for you, Sir Andoy.
Yeah. I was also able to respond to Alfredo's question over Zoom chat. But of course, for the benefit of those on Facebook, for the benefit of those who are not checking our chat box, of course, when you talk about maintaining a solid cyber hygiene, you talk about a strong password, but you don't stop there. Apart from having a strong password, alphanumeric, you're using special characters, you're throwing in, again, uppercase, lowercase letters here and there. You also need to make sure that you change your password regularly. A rule of thumb there is at least once every 3 months. Pero syempre, yung ipapalit mo, dapat ganun din. Strong password pa rin. No? Hindi yung birthday mo, hindi yung initials mo. So, madalas kasi ganun yung ginagawa natin because it's easy to memorize, no? But syempre, if meron kang mga Facebook friends, alam nila that you're celebrating your birthday on November 17th, you're born 1990, so baka pwedeng unang-una nilang piliin dyan is 11171990, di ba? And then you also need to look into protecting your personal data. Huwag tayong post ng IDs natin, no? Huwag tayong post ng mga screenshots online because without you knowing it, maraming mga information na bigla-biglang nakukuha ng mga tao with that very innocent post of ours. Another thing you need to look into when you're transacting online, especially when it comes to finances, when you're transferring funds online, when you're buying stuff online, don't use public Wi-Fi, yung mga free Wi-Fi. If you're linking your credit card sa mga online shopping apps, link it once, no? And then forget mo, delete mo, because minsan parang yun yung nagiging avenue for us to get hacked. Or minsan baka biglang, let's say may anak ka na makulit. I'm not speaking from experience. May anak ka na makulit, nakikita niya mga a few tips of the fingers, Lazada, pwedeng add to cart and then check out, no? Tapos naka COD ka pala, naka cash on delivery ka pala, or naka-link pala yung credit card account mo. So ayun. And again, most importantly, when it comes to investments, you can never go wrong if you're putting your money to work using legitimate, authentic, and regulated investment outlets.
All right, so there's another question here from Camille. What can you suggest for the beginners who would like to invest in IPO shares?
Yeah, I promised Camille, I also responded via chat, but I promised Camille that I'm going to answer her question live kasi medyo complex, so medyo mahaba if I type sa chat box. But when you talk about beginners, parang hindi ka naman required to invest in IPOs agad-agad, because when you talk about IPOs, the good thing about that is you get the first crack, no, in investing in a new name. But yung I don't want to say bad part, no, pero yung downside dito is wala ka pang masyadong history. Hindi mo pa masyadong alam how the market will react pagdating sa company na to. So you have to weigh your options. That's why when it comes to investment options for beginners, madalas ang nagre-recommend namin is to go pooled funds, because you go UATFs through Earnest, you go mutual funds, FirstMetroSec, FundSmart, you go First Metro Exchange Traded Fund, kasi it's easy on the pocket, it's affordable, You get to outsource the decision making to your fund manager, and in the process, it gets your feet wet, no, when it comes to learning more about the market, how the market responds to certain situations, certain scenarios, and then take it from there. Parang syempre, if investment scammers are evolving, dapat yung appetite din natin for investing is also it also needs to keep on evolving para hindi tayo magtitigan sa funds lang. So, once you get the hang of it, once you get to attend the webinars on how to invest in direct stocks, add more names into your portfolio one month at a time, one payday at a time, or one bonus at a time. So ayun siya, parang Camille, for beginners, baka hindi pa ideal if you just exclusively look into IPOs. You might want to start looking into funds, exchange traded funds, and even to a certain extent real estate investment trusts, kasi maganda sa para sa preferred shares na nagbibigay ng regular dividends. So that's it.
Thank you so much for that. Are there other questions that you haven't answered yet here? So how do you compare the management fees of asset or fund managers, or compare transaction fees of different platforms or brokers, especially Forex and securities trading?
Yeah, again, I was also able to answer this via chat, but you can't compare kasi hindi sila apples to apples, no? When you talk about foreign investment outlets, when you talk about Forex, a lot of times they're based outside the Philippines. So iba yung operating, iba yung business model nila. Yeah, and syempre hindi rin comparable yung tech na ginagamit nila, yung fintech. But in the Philippines, yung fund management fee, it depends on the complexity or the simplicity of the task you are outsourcing to your fund manager. It all also depends on the asset classes na mina-manage ng fund manager. So the simpler yung trabaho ng fund manager mo, the lower the fund management fee. But the more complex and the more active management being required of your fund manager, the higher the fund management fee. When we talk about the range, siguro from FirstMetro Securities' FundSmart options, somewhere between 0.5% to about 1.75 to 2%. And ano na yun, it ranges from money market to global equity funds na. And ano pa ba? Lastly, when you talk about fees, no, if you're buying mutual funds through FirstMetroSec, sobrang laking tipid kasi apart from management fees lang ang babayaran nyo, no? You're making the most out of your investable funds because you're no longer going to be charged with sales loads. You're not going to be charged transaction fees. You're not going to get charged with commissions because you're not dealing with agents. You're doing the picking on your own. You're doing the investing on your own. But in the process, yung trading, yung decision making, you're outsourcing that to your fund manager, and that's the reason why you're still paying fund management fees.
Okay, so next question from Jose Miguel. Given the impressive portfolio Federal Land has, will it offer REIT in the future like other property corporations? Okay, so yung REIT kasi, there are many advantages of putting up a REIT, such as tax incentives, and it will raise new capital for new investments and developments for the developer. So while Federal Land's portfolio is dominated by residential properties, we also own and develop office buildings, retail and commercial centers, mixed-use townships, and master plan communities. So for your question, will Federal Land offer REITs? It should be in the pipeline. So as for now, as for the timeline, then only the board of directors will know. Now, the good news is you can easily find the latest disclosures at the PSE Edge website, or you can also follow the social media pages of PSE accredited stockbrokers such as FirstMetro Securities. So you can have updates whether there will be new REITs that are being offered. And you can also have financial advisors that you can ask them for updates. So maybe you would like to add to that, sir?
Yeah. Again, thank you for that question, Jose Miguel Villamor. In as much as I'd like to provide you with a very concrete answer. Wala sa control namin nila Yana, no? Yung pag-offer ng REITs ng federal land. You're seeing a number of big ticket real estate developers or real estate companies out there offering REITs to the market. I'm pretty sure if in case federal land gets to consider putting one out, most likely you'll hear it from Yana. You'll hear it from us first. But right now, wala pa, no? We can't confirm nor deny because yung mga disclosures na yan is very, very sensitive. So tama yung sabi ni Yana. Just watch out for disclosures from PSE Edge and watch out for announcements from Federal Land and from Securities Brokerage Corporation.
Okay, so next question from Mr. Mark C. This PUA I am separated. If I inquire to buy properties, different agents say I can buy, others say I can't. What is true? Do they say yes para lang makabenta, and isn't that a scam? Okay, so firstly, you have to clarify what do you mean by separated. Are you boyfriend and girlfriend co-living that are separated, or are you spouses? Are you legally married? So if you say that you are not legally married, then go ahead, you can buy that property. But if you are legally married, my next question to you is, what is the status of your marriage? Are you undergoing annulment? Are you already annulled? Or totally hindi? Kasi if it's, even if you've not been together for, let's say, a decade or more than that, you are still married by paper. So if your answer is yes, you're already annulled, again, go ahead, buy that property. But if you are still legally married, my next question to you is, do you have a prenuptial agreement? And currently in the Philippines, under our family code, we have three property regimes. First is the absolute community of property. Yun yung automatic if you don't have any agreement at all before your wedding. So the absolute community of property, that is yung what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. So even before marriage, everything that you bought before the marriage, it becomes a property of the spouses. The next is the conjugal property of conjugal partnership of gains, which is properties before the marriage is solely for the husband and for the wife, and then you share whatever gains you have or whatever properties that you buy during that marriage. And the last regime is the CSP, the complete separation of property. So if you, as the name implies, it's complete separation. So if that is your answer, you have a complete separation of property regime, then go ahead, buy that property. But if you answer otherwise, then it means that whatever you buy, it will be conjugal between you and your spouse. So if your agent say that yes, you can buy a property, you can ask that agent, what do you mean that I can buy? What options are you telling me? Kasi what others do commonly is that they put the property under the name of someone that they trust, which is, example, their parents or their siblings or their kids, especially if yung kids naman talaga nila yung magmamana at the end of the day. And so, they can also form a corporation. Pwede rin nilang ipangalan sa corporation nila. Ayan. So, ayan po, that's your options if you want to buy a property even if you're still married. Okay, so next question about Earnest. Does time horizon mean that the investment is locked in for that period? For example, if the time horizon is 5 years, do we have to keep the investment there for 5 years, or is it possible to pull out the investment anytime? Ms. Bianca?
So this is from Alfred, and I actually just answered this question on the chat. So thank you for that, because I know a lot of people get curious also about it. No, so there is an investment horizon that you can find when you're trying to invest in a fund, but that's usually a recommendation of how long you should stay investment. On Earnest, for the Metrobank funds available, there's something called the holding period. No, and this is typically 7 days only. And after this time, you can either partially or fully redeem your investment without penalty. So if you invest, keep it for 7 days, and on day 8, if you want to, take your money out, you can. Of course, syempre, that's not recommended, because especially when you're thinking about investment funds like UITFs or mutual funds, idea is to think a bit more long term to reach your mid to long term goals. So I would advise that you also take a look at what the recommended investment horizon is for the different funds, para alam mo rin how you can maximize your investment. Hope that answers your question. Let me know in the chat.
Thank you, Ms. Bianca. Next question from Ms. Maria. Question about borrowing money in the bank. Can I use my other property as my collateral? Example, fully paid condo. Let's say in the case of buying the season's residences, how does it apply? Ms. Bianca, can you about borrowing money in the bank?
Oh, sorry, wait. I am not, I'll be honest though, I handle the digital side of banking. I'm not competent enough, I think, to answer this question on loans. But Maria, I'll message you and maybe I can connect you to someone who can answer your question.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Can you read the question again? I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities.
The last question.
About the loan.
About borrowing money in the bank, can I use my other property as my collateral, such as a fully paid condo? How does it apply? Actually, the quick answer for that is yes. You can use it as collateral, but maybe user can share some more details about how.
Yeah, the quicker answer is actually yes. So yeah, the answer is yes. You can use a fully paid property as a collateral. Importante lang dyan is, again, you secure all the necessary, all the pertinent documents just for you to prove that it's, sabi nga ni Yana, that it's fully paid, it's already transferred under your name, kasi magiging eventually encumbrance yan magkakaroon ng encumbrance yung property mo because it's going to be used as a collateral. What we can possibly do is to refer you to our friends from PS Bank, because sabi nga ni Bianca, we're not experts when it comes to real estate loans, but sila yung experts, and at the same time they can most probably be able to assist you on how to better leverage on that property of yours, especially if you're in the market for another federal land property. So yun, please do get in touch with us, any one of us, because we will be able to refer you, endorse you to our friends from PS Bank.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any other questions from our audience? I'm so sorry, I can't see any, I can't see the Facebook Live. So if we are having some questions there, I do apologize. So anyway, so if we don't have any other questions, maybe user can have something else to say, Ms. Bianca?
Sorry, I was muted. I would like to say thank you everyone for participating in this particular webinar, and I do applaud you for continuing your own education to learn more about how you can grow your money, stay protected also as an investor. And so last thoughts, if you are starting out, because I know we have a mix in this audience now in terms of your own investment journey, but if you're starting out, I would really like to advocate that you consider using Earnest. It's easy, you can download it on the Google and Apple Play stores. And at the very least, you can start learning. So the idea is learn the basics so that you become more confident, so that when you're ready, you can start investing. And you can invest with us, through the Earnest app or FirstMetroSec, or even then later on, when you're ready for a big ticket item, then go ahead and also invest with Federal Land.
All right, Sir Andoy.
Yeah, thank you so much to our Zoom participants, those joining us on Facebook, special shout out to Mr. Herbie Recato, no, nag-request siya ng shout out sa Facebook. So yeah, hi, thank you for joining. Shout out also to Miss Marisuso Lidun, my friend from BPI. So thank you for joining. Salamat for joining us. Going 2 hours now, 5 minutes till 2 hours. But thank you for joining. Last words. Financial literacy is really key, no? Whether you're talking about investing in real estate, starting your saving journey, starting your investing journey by way of Earnest. You talk about eventually investing in stocks, real estate, investment trusts, exchange traded funds. And financial literacy is really key because it will, sabi ko nga, no, help you separate fact from fiction, good with the bad, what's right for you, what's not right for you, what you understand, what you have yet to understand. But at the end of the day, we are your partners when it comes to financial literacy. That's why tirelessly we keep on bringing you things like this. And if you happen to have something in mind, kasi a lot of times we run out of ideas. Ano ba yung next content? Ano ba yung next topic namin? Please do let us know. Provide us with your thoughts. Provide us with your suggestions and recommendations. And we'll try our best to come up with a webinar based on your recommendations. So yun. Maraming salamat. And Yana, last words, parting words.
Thank you for that. We actually have a pahabol question from Alfredo for Miss Bianca. If we have other clarifications after this, whom we can contact regarding Earnest?
I sent him a private message, so he can get in touch with me.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And also for those who are messaging me regarding e-certificate, I do apologize, but we don't offer e-certificates because this webinar is actually just an advocacy by Federal and FirstMetroSec and Earnest Investing. We're just very much happy to spread this kind of financial literacy seminars because as what mentioned by Sir Andoy kanina, there's a lot of Filipinos who are not that literate yet when it comes to investing. And we've been doing this for, like, with FirstMetroSec, they've been doing this for how many years na? With Federal Land, we've been doing this for more than a year, and we've been enjoying this. Parang it's like we take joy in spreading financial literacy to everyone, and hopefully it will come a day that Filipinos are no longer scared to invest. That as what Miss Bianca has said, hindi na taboo or hindi na nakakahiyang pag-usapan ang investment and cash when it comes to the family. And ayun. So, all right. So, thank you so much, everyone, for spending your afternoon with us.
Thanks, everyone.
Opening a FirstMetroSec account online is easy. All you have to do is follow these simple steps. First, go to the FirstMetroSec website. Click Open an Account. For seamless flow, please have the following requirements ready: your tax identification number or TIN, one valid ID, an active email address for verification, proof of billing address, and proof of bank account. You will also need a piece of white paper signed thrice to serve as your specimen signature card. Once all requirements are prepared, you are now ready to proceed. Select whether you're a Metrobank account holder, other bank depositor, with either a driver's license or PRC ID. Or if you would like to do an on-site account opening in our offices in Makati, Cebu, Davao, or during our seminars and events. Note that 2,500 pesos initial deposit is waived for Metrobank and PS Bank account holders, OFWs, and students. Next, complete the online form and click Continue to verify your email address. You will immediately receive an email confirming your account application. Click on the link provided and upload the requirements online. Note that it will take 2 to 3 business days to activate your account once complete requirements are submitted. That's it! Fast, easy, and simple paperless account opening. Once your account is activated, you can now access the trading platform via your laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Happy trading! For more information, call us at 02-859-0600 or send an email via accountopening@firstmetrosec.com.ph. All the options and convenience within your reach through Finance Asia's back-to-back best broker and International Finance's best online broker and best online trading platform. With FirstMetroSec, you only need one.